I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you because you have a wonderful book, and I've seen you all over on your YouTube videos, and it's just a pleasure to have you here tonight. And thank you for coming down here and spending some time here down in Lower Manhattan.
Thank you so much for having me. It's nice to be here.
And here's a book, and thank you, Mr. Patrick Van Buren, for shooting the wonderful video, the YouTube video, this afternoon or this evening, actually. I'm trying to figure out whether it's the morning, afternoon, or night sometimes. In the radio business, you never know from day to day, but that's another story. But this book is really not for the grieving parents. Is that correct?
Correct.
And why is that?
Well, this book is a step-by-step guide on how friends, family, coworkers, teachers, doctors, hairdressers, bartenders, and what their role is to support us after we've lost a child. So when we lose a child, one of our biggest fears is going back out into society.
Mm-hmm.
What are people going to say to us? Are they going to accept us? Are we going to see people with other children that make us think of ours that we no longer have? So it's very important to remember that we will never be the same person again, but all of you have an opportunity to play a role on who we will become.
What did you enjoy most about writing What Do I Do?
I really enjoyed interviewing everybody. I interviewed hundreds, if not thousands of people for the book. I really enjoyed the chapter on siblings, realizing that when I lost my daughter, it was an only child, but not ever thinking about siblings that are left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very important to point out that when a sibling loses a sibling, they also lose the parents they once knew. So in essence, it's two different grieving processes for them. And I had never really thought about that and how important it is, again, that our friends know how to support us because no one knows what to do with us. So it's very important to get this education out. That's why this book is not for the grieving parents.
Kimberly, could you tell our audience what makes this book a step-by-step guide?
So this book makes a step-by-step guide because it's from the time you get the phone call on what your role is. So unfortunately, if you get the book after you get the phone call, it's too late. You've missed chapters 1 and 2. So this will guide you through. I think it's important to point out here that in the beginning, a lot of us lose our immediate family for support because they're also grieving. So for instance, my mom had just lost her granddaughter. So she was no support for me and I was no support for her.
Mm-hmm.
So we really rely upon our friends to put that team together and to know ahead of time what to do so they can pretty much just come in and take over our life because we have no idea what we need.
Jennifer Steinman Stern, filmmaker, says this book is an excellent starting point for anyone who wants to support and love someone through their darkest hours.
Yes, she actually is a film producer in LA and actually won an Emmy for one of her films.
Marvelous.
So I was blessed to spend some time with her, and she actually did a film on mothers who had lost children called Motherhood.
And what are other things that people can learn from reading your book?
From the time you get the phone call, what your role is for the entire first year. There's a chapter on how you support the grieving parents, as well as fathers. That's a tough one. That was a really men. What I found very interesting in writing the book is men that were joining support groups 7, 8, 9, or 10 years after they lost their child by themselves. Because men are taught you don't grieve, you don't cry, you move on for the family. And truly, they need your support just as much as grieving mothers, but they don't get it. So that was very important for me to write a chapter on that, on how to support men that are going through the loss. And again, siblings was a big thing of mine, of the support that they need, because they're technically going through two different grieving processes during this time.
So how long did it take you to write this book?
About 7 months.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to write a part 2 to this, or a different type of book?
Not part 2. I think
type?
the next might be on teenagers. I've been dealing a lot with teenagers that have lost their friends and they don't know what to do. That's really opened my eyes to another big need. But yes, I will definitely be writing more books to support people in this community.
And where can people find your book? I know it's all over the internet, but you can just give us some websites and your Facebook address and any other place where people can order your book.
Absolutely. If you go to Amazon, What Do I Do by Kimberly Calabrese, or you can go to KimberlyCalabrese.com, and if you scroll down in the top right corner and you click on gift, you can get the first 3 chapters for free.